Hey everyone, this is Nate with another Backcountry beer review. It is spring in New Mexico, which means that the high country is starting to open up, unlock its secrets a little bit for us, especially after this unfortunately bad snow year. Today I hiked up to Picuras Peak, which is about halfway between Taos and the small town of Badito, New Mexico, just off the high road. Today is a very special episode of Backcountry Beer Review because I am reviewing a collaboration between a local Albuquerque brewery and a local Albuquerque band. The beer is by High and Dry Brewing, and it's a collaboration with the band Red Mesa, and it's the Disharmonious Red IPA. So about High and Dry, I've never actually been there or had any of their beer before this, but all my friends tell me that the beer is really good, that it's a great place for live music. Unfortunately, with the smaller breweries in Albuquerque that don't distribute to where I live, it's hard for me to swing by and get them. So I want to especially shout out my friend Casey for picking this up for me. I don't only review crowlers because one, they're heavy, and two, they don't typically have beer specific labeling. But I made an exception because this one does actually have beer specific labeling, as you can see. The band that they collaborated with, Red Mesa, is, I would describe them as doom metal, stoner metal, desert rock band. The latest album that came out in June 2020, it's hard to believe it was so long ago, called Path to the Deathless. It's their third album. I think it's far and away their best. Really good music. Really, if you like that style of music, like stoner metal, desert rock, I think you'll like that album. It's really cool. Sounds a lot like Caius. Anyway, in particular, this beer is actually made in honor of one of the singles from that album, which was called Disharmonious Unlife. And it's a really special song because they actually got a guest vocalist to come in, and it was the very famous, very popular Scott Wino Weinrich. He is probably one of the most influential musicians and recognizable voices in the doom metal, stoner metal scene. So it's really cool that they were able to get him to do vocals. The song itself is awesome. It sounds like a Black Sabbath song. Before I move on, I should mention that High and Dry, like I said, is very known for its live music. And so it makes sense that they would team up with a band to do a collaboration. But on top of that, they also teamed up with Duke City Virtual to set up a pre-recorded live stream of the band playing live at the brewery that you can find now. It's on Facebook, and really good show, really nice stuff. So let's give the back of the can a read. Patience, faith and execution with calm pride and dignity. No false hops or empty words. Born out of camaraderie, trust, friendship, the love of beer, and the spirit of rock and roll. Hear and taste the truth be spoken. Find the harmony in our Disharmonious Red India Pale Ale. Cheers. So that's a play on the lyrics to the song it's based off, Disharmonious Unlife. Let's open this up and give it a taste. All right, everyone, it is time for a sip. Wow, that is one intense beer. That is a lot of flavor. It's very full-bodied, very earthy, and I think part of what's contributing to that earthiness is you have this kind of slight vegetal note from the hops. On top of that, I'm getting this intense toasted wheat bread note. I'm getting caramel note. So typical of maltier beers, but because it has that intense hop flavor as well, that vegetal hop flavor, it really makes it this complex, interesting experience. Because moving on to the middle third, I think what happens is that hop bitterness, that vegetal hop bitterness note kind of turns into this fruity and bitter rush. I would say that, if I had to give a good comp, I'd say strawberry tops. So if you ever get strawberries, you can eat the green tops of them. And it's a little bitter, but a little fruity too. So I'm getting something like that. Maybe even orange rind, kind of that note as well. Somewhere in there too, I'm getting this little bit of a cooling herb taste. Maybe something like spearmint. In the last third, I'm really getting this just leftover bitterness from the hops, the hop notes. We're also getting a little bit of citrusness, but still that vegetal note. And on top of that, it's very peppery. In fact, it reminds me of kind of peppery bitter greens, maybe something like arugula or rocket for my friends in England, or maybe even something like dandelion greens. Overall, a really delicious beer, but it is super intense. Not that that's a bad thing, but all I'm saying is I do think you have to sit with it and coax the flavors out a little bit. But if you just want to sit there and drink it, you're not going to be disappointed, especially if you're eating this with food, maybe a cigar or something. It has the intensity of flavor to stand up to something like that. Obviously, two of the most affected industries by 2020 were live music and restaurant, hospitality world, whatever you want to call it. So I definitely would say go to High and Dry, pick up this beer if there's any left. There might not be by the time you're watching this. And if nothing else, maybe check out Red Mesa on Bandcamp. Buy an album, buy a shirt. And if you don't want to do that, they're on Spotify, listen to their latest album. Cheers, and have a backcountry beer for me. I wanted to mention I'm filming this on May 1st, and I will probably release it right away once I'm done editing it. And if you want to try this Disharmonious Red IPA, you better get to High and Dry fast, because they just posted either last night or this morning that the keg is almost kicked. So I'm actually going to leapfrog episode 19 and just come out with episode 20 right away. So your mind's not playing tricks on you. Episode 20 will come out before episode 19.